What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. In this one, we talk about what head coach Sherrone Moore said on the recruiting and NIL philosophy that he has. Plus, we got some big updates on running back recruiting in the 2025 class for Michigan, as the month of June should be a big month, as Michigan is set to host a ton of top targets for official visits. Plus, Michigan has also offered a new wide receiver that is very high on them, as well as a new cornerback, as the Michigan coaching staff continues to find players that fit their system. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to talk about in this video is the Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore, as he discussed the recruiting and NIL strategy. As Sherrone Moore, he joined Jake Butt on Champion Circles, the Lab podcast. And he talked about, finding talent on the recruiting trail. Sherrone Moore, he said, you look at the types of guys we just won a national title with, and we didn't have a whole bunch of 5 stars. We had some. We want to have elite talent. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's enough of it out there that you can find that also fits the culture. It's all about the culture, the fit, and the alignment of a university organization, even in business. Talk to the business people. It's all about alignment and how that does. Everyone has to be aligned with the vision. When you have that, you have something that is super powerful. So we're definitely going to try and bring in the right type of guys here, the right type of families to become Michigan men. He said for us, once we dig deep into who we want to look at and who we want to recruit, there's a lot of questions that you gotta ask. You're asking the players, but you're not only asking them, but you're asking parents, you're asking the people in the lunchroom, the janitors, people in the front office, and you're asking everybody that's involved with the kid. He said you're trying to dig deep on every player because you've got to figure out the player and what the mold is inside. Also talked about NIL. He said you have to plan for NIL. That's the game now. That's where college football is. So there are a lot of other things with revenue sharing, which we are all for here. I've always been for it. Former head coach Jim Harbaugh has been for it. I think the players deserve to get a piece of it. And he also said the Champion Circle has done an outstanding job with all that and that fun to keep our players here who have excelled at the highest level and took us to where we are. They deserve it. And he said we'll use it as a tool and to help us as we go forward. That's what Sherrone Moore had to say about recruiting, as well as a little bit on NIL, but kind of backs up what Michigan has been doing in recent years here as far as recruiting goes. They aren't all in on trying to just find the best and elite players that they can get, trying to find players that fit here in the culture, players that fit the system. And at the end of the day, if you have a team full of superstars, sometimes that can lead to trouble, and sometimes all you really need is just a group of players that fit together and play as a team. That's certainly what Michigan has found in the last recent years here. I'm sure Sherrone Moore will definitely continue to do that while trying to get the best talent, but at the end of the day, that is not the main focus. Sherrone Moore, he also talked about the new assistant coaches that he brought in on the podcast, talking about the defensive coaching staff, which he had to replace almost the whole staff. He said, I wanted to make sure that one, I kept that scheme, kept those intact. And he said, I think our players are really good at it, and they are really good players. I wanted to make sure that they were comfortable first. And he also said, two, you wanted to keep that scheme there and bring somebody in that can run the scheme. And obviously they brought in the person that it originated from, which is Wink Martindale. And he said, of course, the support staff, the guys around him, linebackers coach Brian Jean Mary, defensive line coach Lou Esposito, and defensive backs coach Lamar Morgan. He said they're all phenomenal, and all of those guys have been coordinators and called plays, and also they've all seen it from a different spectrum. Wink was in the NFL, Lou Esposito coming from the MAC, the Conference USA, where Lamar Morgan came from, and the SEC, where Jean Mary came from. And talking about the offensive coaching staff, he said, I was so close to them last year. We worked hard and worked hand in hand and developed such a great chemistry as a staff. He said, my relationship with them is great. And he's also super excited for Coach Campbell. He said, I know he's going to do a heck of a job. So that's what Sherrone Moore had to say on Champion Circle, the Lab podcast, as he is getting set for his first season in as the Michigan head coach, full-time Michigan football head coach. I'm sure he's going to lead a very competitive team out on the field this fall. It should be one of the best defenses as well in all of college football next season, especially with what they have done in the portal. But now I wanted to talk about some recruiting news and some updates on running back recruiting in the 2025 class. Now in our last video we talked about the 2025 4-star running back Iverson Howard, as he was set to make his decision this Friday. However, he announced on social media that he was pushing the date back. It is mainly between Florida State, Maryland, and Michigan. No crystal ball predictions have been placed up to this point yet. However, on the recruiting prediction machine and on 3, Maryland does lead with an 87.9% chance to land him. And according to E.J. Holland of the Wolverine, he doesn't expect Michigan to be the pick. And it appears right now that the in-state school, Maryland, is leading. However, he does have officials visits set up to Michigan, Florida State, and Maryland in that order. So yes, Michigan did miss on Marquise Davis, and it also appears now that Michigan may have other running backs on the board higher than Iverson Howard, as they're going after other running backs like the 2025 3-star running back Jasper Parker from Archbishop Shaw High School. Also, they're going after the 4-star running back Todd Robinson, which we also mentioned in our last video as well. Michigan does have official visits. They're set to host both of them on official visits in June. Michigan is also hoping to get an official visit from the 2025 4-star running back from IMG Academy, Donovan Johnson, and they would like to get an official visit from the 2025 3-star running back Shakai Mills-Knight, as Michigan looking to get him in the month of June. Now, he did talk about Michigan to Steve Wiltfong of On 3 when Tony Alford and Michigan offered him. He said, man, they're the defending champs. That means something for sure. He said they're producing some great running backs right now, and I love them. Now, the 2025 3-star running back Jasper Parker, he has obviously locked in an official visit with Michigan on June 14th, but talked with E.J. Holland of the Wolverine. He talked about new Michigan running back coach Tony Alford. He said he's way more than a coach. He's a mentor, a role model. He also said that he's looking forward to seeing the culture more in depth, and he said Michigan is definitely at the top of his list. So they have placed themselves within striking distance. They are up there. Michigan has been a staple of excellence for years. So that's where we stand with running back recruiting in the 2025 class. Michigan has expanded their board. It appears they may have others higher on the board, but they are set to host a lot of them for official visits in the month of June. The month of June is definitely going to be a big month for recruiting. I also want to talk about Michigan offering some new 2025 recruits. First one is the 2025 3-star wide receiver Preston Bowman, who is from Pickerington North High School in the state of Ohio, which is where former Michigan great tight end Jake Butt is from. But Michigan just offered him yesterday, as Ron Bellamy offered him, and Bowman told Ellen True of 24/7 Sports that I have a strong interest in Michigan dating back to camping there as a sophomore. He said I've been there 4 times and every time it gets better, and I go home with things to implement into my training on and off the field. He said he's going to discuss what the visit timeline will look like for official visits, but he is pretty high on Michigan. And defensive backs coach Lamar Morgan also offered the 2025 3-star cornerback Donovan Starr yesterday as well. He's from Ravenwood High School in Brentwood, Tennessee. I told Bryce Merritt to the Michigan Insider that Coach Morgan came to my school this morning and I was glad to get the offer because Junior Colson went to my school and he just got drafted. He said I like that they produce a lot of NFL players and that they are a great defensive team. Does plan to make a trip up to Ann Arbor in the future. But with that, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.